Building a brand. What do you guys think? Booger McFarland recently commented saying that players today are too focused on building their brand, and it's starting to create some conversation. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that, for example, young players in the NFL are too focused on building their brand? Personally, of course, it starts on the field. You know, you're a player first, so you have to ball out. But you have to ball out in order to have the most value, to increase your value, to increase your notoriety, because most of these guys they're players first, and that's why they're originally known. It takes a lot to get to the NFL. There's maybe about 17 or 1800 players that can call themselves NFL players at the moment. So that's why they're mostly known. But do you think that players focus too much on building their brand? I think that players, of course, should focus on their play on the field and let their play speak for itself. But in this day and age, especially, there are so many ways for players to make money. Like whether it's from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. There's so much branding that's going on, so much notoriety. A player can have millions and millions of followers, and that's outside of people who are just fans of the team or fans of football, or they like the way the player plays. People will follow players just to hate on them, but that still adds some sort of value to the player's reputation, whether they're liked or not liked. Either way, it's still allowing them to gain notoriety, which in the long run benefits the players off of the field. There's just so much that players these days can capitalize on, as far as income goes, and endorsements and advertising products. Juju Smith-Schuster, he's very famous off the field, as well as his play on the field. He's been a pretty good receiver thus far his first few years in the NFL, but he's very well known off the field, especially with the younger generation. He's famous for his TikTok videos, dancing in the middle of the field, his celebrations. The young people love him. Players have been branding themselves for years. Peyton Manning, who has had more commercials than Peyton Manning, and it has transferred itself off of the field. Peyton currently has his own show right now, and he couldn't have done that without branding himself as a player prior to retiring, or he wouldn't have had the same platform. So players have been doing this forever. Tom Brady, he's also a perfect example. Tom, he has, at press conferences, he's always wearing his TB12 gear. Tom, he's married to a supermodel. Tom has been getting endorsements for years. Gillette, he's been a huge spokesperson for Gillette. Even with other sports, Tiger Woods has been huge. LeBron James is probably the biggest, most well-known player for so many of his off-the-field endeavors, whether it be his activism, his charities, his donations. LeBron is famous for so many things. He has a signature shoe. He has Space Jam. He's been in Space Jam. He's invested in a variety of companies that are, doing well. This guy, he's in on seemingly everything. He has a liquor line out now. LeBron has his hands in just about everything. And he's a champion, and he's well known as a father, a champion, a family man. He's still with his high school sweetheart. So players in different sports have been building their brands for years, and each year that passes, social media gets bigger and bigger, and the platforms that these players have just continue to get bigger and bigger. So for all of the old school guys out there who think that players are focusing too much on branding, I think that it's safe to say they're wrong, and that it's not going away anytime soon. But first and foremost, players need to take care of business on the field, or on the court, wherever they play, wherever their domain is. But let's say for football players in particular, they definitely need to ball out on the field, to increase their value, and just to stay relevant as a player. But for someone like Juju Smith-Schuster, he'll still have his platform even after he's done with the game. Now, of course, the better career player has, even their platform can only grow from that. It'll only allow them to have a larger platform. But for some guys, they have such a big personality that even if they only play a few years, they can still be very successful off the field with endorsements and things of that nature, just to continue to build their brand. Have you ever thought about recording your own podcast? The Anchor app is free and easy to use. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, and you can even make money from your podcast. You can talk about anything you want to. I like to talk about sports and photography. All you have to do is download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's all you have to do. So, for all the naysayers against, players who want to build their brand while they're still playing, it shouldn't cause a distraction to the team. Now, if they're doing things that are gonna cause issues for the team and team chemistry, then that is a whole different matter. But as far as the players just building their own brands in a positive manner that does not distract or take anything away from their teams, I think that certain people or certain groups will just have to come to terms with that and just accept that it's a new time, it's a new generation. The social media age is upon us, and these players are just going to continue to grow their notoriety and their fan base, and it's gonna be an ongoing trend. None of this is going anywhere, so people are just gonna have to get used to it. Players are gonna continue to build their brands, and hopefully they can continue to be successful and also continue to contribute to their teams and not become a distraction. They just have to follow the model set by athletes like Peyton Manning, LeBron James, and athletes like that who have, they're constantly in the media, but for the right things. Very few people, will have bad things to say about those type of guys. And that's sort of the model that people, that young athletes should follow. There's also other guys like T.O., Terrell Owens, and Chad Ochocinco Johnson. These guys, they've had, huge platforms, and they've run into a little bit of trouble here and there throughout their careers. But I would say after, life after football has treated them well, they still have their huge platforms that they've established during their playing careers. Now, I would, advise for young players to try to have less of a tumultuous impact as far as some of the distractions that those two guys may have had during their playing careers. But they still have huge platforms, and they still have large followings, and people are interested in them because they're the true definition of entertainers. They are very entertaining and charismatic guys. So young players can sort of take that and add that to their bag, and just continue to grow and just try to be positive and add to their teams and not take anything away. This is your host, Trey. I'm signing off with Big Time Sports Talk. Stay positive and stay alert.